My brothers and sisters in Christ, today's reflection from the dialogue of St. Catherine of Siena picks up in section 15. God continues to speak. I want you to understand this, my daughter. I created humankind anew in the blood of my only begotten Son, and re-established them in grace. But they have so scorned the graces I gave them, and still give them. They go from bad to worse, from sin to sin, constantly repaying me with insults. And they not only fail to recognize my graces for what they are, but sometimes even think I am abusing them, I who want nothing but their sanctification. I tell you, it will go harder for them in view of the grace they have received, and they will be deserving of greater punishment. They will be more severely punished now than they have been redeemed by my Son's blood than they would have been before that redemption, before the scar of Adam's sin was removed. It is only reasonable that those who receive more should give more in return, and the greater the gift, the greater the bond of indebtedness. How greatly were they indebted to me then, since I had given them their very existence, creating them in my image and likeness. They owed me glory, but they stole it from me and took it to themselves instead. They violated the obedience I had laid on them, and so became my enemies. But with humility, I destroyed their pride. I stooped to take on their humanity, rescued them from their slavery to the devil, and made them free. And more than this, can you see? Through this union of the divine nature with the human, God was made human and humanity was made God. What indebtedness to have received the treasure of the blood by which they are created anew in grace. So you see how much more they owe me after their redemption than before. For now they are bound by the example of the incarnate Word, my only begotten Son, to give me glory and praise. And then they will pay their debt of love for me and for their neighbors, as well as true and solid virtue, as I described for you earlier. Because they owe me so much love, if they refuse it, their sin is all the greater, and my divine justice punishes them so much more severely in eternal damnation. False Christians fare much worse there than do pagans. The fire of divine justice torments them the more, burning without consuming, and in their torment they feel themselves being eaten by the worm of conscience, which eats away without eating up. For the damned, for all their torment, cannot cease to exist. Indeed, they beg for death, but cannot have it. They cannot cease to exist. By their sin, they can lose the life of grace, but not their very being. So sin is punished far more severely after people have been redeemed by the blood than before. For they have received more, but they seem to ignore it and to take no notice of their evil deeds. Though I once reconciled them to myself through the blood of my Son, they have become my enemies. But I have one remedy to calm my wrath, my servants who care enough to press me with their tears and bind me with the chain of their desire. You see, you have bound me with that chain, and I myself gave you that chain, because I wanted to be merciful to the world. I put into my servants a hunger and longing for my honor and the salvation of souls, so that I might be forced by their tears to soften the fury of my divine justice. Bring then your tears and your sweat, you and my other servants. Draw them from the fountain of my divine love, and use them to wash the face of my bride. I promise you that thus her beauty will be restored. Not by the sword or by war or by violence will she regain her beauty, but through peace and through the constant and humble prayers and sweat and tears poured out by my servants with eager desire. And so I will fulfill your desire by giving you much to suffer, and your patience will spread light into the darkness and all the world's evil. Do not be afraid. Though the world may persecute you, I am at your side, and never will my providence fail you. May God bless you.